Hello folks, welcome to GingerLion's Agrarian Skies spoiler. Today I'm going to be, once again, a little bit of a digression, because I think it's a great idea. We're about to build ourselves a mob spawner. At this point, getting mob drops would be extremely valuable for us. So, here is the idea. I have this inventory full of stuff that I intend to take with me to do the building, but I'm going to grab myself a tool that's going to make it faster. You guys are going to be able to do everything that I'm going to show you. You're just going to have to do it a little more cautiously. Now the first step, if you look at the map in the upper right, what we want to do is hit M, go into Details and Performance, and turn the Biome Overlay on. And we want to make sure that we are not in a magical forest biome. You can hit F3 and find out what biome you're in. If I build right here, I'm going to be in a forest. That's just fine. Let's just make sure that this blue biome over here is swampland. That too is acceptable. So I am going to start by building myself a bit of a platform. And I'm going to light the corners of it with torches because I only want monsters to spawn where I want them. So now our landing chamber, as it were, is going to be, I'm actually gonna, I don't want to build a platform. I would like to build, now please note that I stole this basic idea from another YouTuber by the name of GingerLion. He deserves all the credit for it. I'm just building a variant of it because I think that it's a really good way to handle this situation. Most of the mob traps that you see out there are what's called water fed. In other words, they rely on the mobs stepping into water and, no, that's not going to work, and falling. That means that you're not going to get Endermen. That's, to me, a significant problem, because Ender Pearls are one of the most valuable things that you can get in this game. They're considered rare, and if you can have a lot of them as a pretty standard drop, then you're in a much better shape than most. So basically what I laid out here is a 4x4 pattern, and I'm going to light it, though I'm going to change that later, and I want to go up with this pattern twice. I'm going to make it one more, 3 times. Now, if you're building this by hand, what you're going to be doing is placing ladder up, climbing up the ladder, and when you're up at the top, holding shift, spinning around, placing what you need to, placing your next ladder, and then climbing up again. If you hold shift while you're on a ladder, you will stop from sliding down. I'm not going to be placing the ladder except for aesthetic purposes. So now, once you have reached this far, and this is actually going to make the ladder thing a little tricky. Let me show you why. Let me remove this and put this in place. What we're about to do is narrow down the neck of this spawner, like so. The reason we're doing that is this. When spiders come falling down here, we would prefer they get trapped down in this neighborhood. They, if they try to climb this wall, cannot get out. That means that we have a much higher chance of them being killed in this process. So let's go ahead and, now I recommend you place torches on the outside at this level because it's going to be a lighting problem. Now we have gone up, let's see, this is where the killing platform is going to be. That's 3, 4. So 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, and 24. Now, this is the level where your mob spawning is going to occur on, but we want to make sure that it's, well, shall we say, efficient. So, first trick, trapdoors. I admit you're not going to be able to place the last trapdoor because of the ladder. You can place it on the way down. Let me actually go ahead and place that so that I can show you the process of breaking it on the way down, because it is just potentially a little bit hairy. So there we are. That gets us up to the level. Now, I'm going to build this out off camera, and then I'm going to show you how it's laid out and what the logic behind all of it is. Okay, folks, now, don't think that this is a particularly easy build. It takes a while. It takes a bunch of climbing around, a whole bunch of cobblestone, but not much else. So it's well within your capabilities, and it's very valuable at this point. So what I'm going to do is show you how to tear this thing down in probably the most unexpected way. What I want, is for you to go up one block at a time. Let me re-show just a moment. Climb the ladder and then reach down to the lowest one that you can get and break it, and then push forward a bit and break it all the way down up through. So that's going to be a little bit frustrating, but it's truly worth it. You can come back down this way and break the ladders above you, which is a little bit less scary and frustrating, but that leaves you in the monster pit after you've triggered this entire thing. That's your choice. So, how do we turn it on? Well, what we do is we come up here, we open all the trapdoors, and we break all the torches. And then, again, we climb up our ladder. Come on, gotta get in the right spot. And because we couldn't put a trapdoor here, now we do. And then, again, we break the torches, we open all the trapdoors. The reason for this is pretty simple. Mobs see these open trapdoor edges as being a full block and believe that they can step on that block and all will be well. But instead, they fall. So, this allows our monsters to gravity feed down. And we've basically made a stepped approach, and every floor is 3 blocks and then the ceiling. That way Endermen can spawn in this neighborhood and will be sucked into our trap as well. Now you'll notice for the moment I have not made any killing mechanism for killing these mobs. We're going to manually kill them for the first couple minutes. Really what we need is an ender pearl. One ender pearl, one solitary ender pearl, and a little bit of work, wrong click, and a little bit of work with our lava generation system, and we can make ourselves a vacuum hopper. And the vacuum hopper is what we ultimately want in this process, plus a lot of invar. I'll show you what I mean once I've finished setting this whole thing up. So, what we're going to do in the end, at the bottom, is set up invar spikes. The reason we're going to use invar spikes is this. Invar spikes will drop all of the rare drops that come from mobs. Those include red hearts, which you can use to make heart canisters and gain yourself more life. Those include equipment, many of which we'll throw away, but some of which we'll keep because it will have, enchantments on it we wish to strip off. And any other rare drops that mobs produce. So, invar spikes are our best course of action if we want all of the best drops. If we don't, if you're not particularly concerned about that and you don't want to use up that much invar, because trust me, when I show you, you'll understand what I mean. It's a lot of invar to make that recipe. You can always make punchy sticks, which are really made from nothing more than sugarcane. You're going to have to get sugarcane seeds from sifting dirt, but that's not too hard a thing. So, here we are, last of the torches. Now, this isn't going to start working yet because we are nearby. If you are too close, monsters will not spawn. But you'll notice lots of red squares, and there are about to be more of them. So, we break the last of the ladders. We climb up onto the roof. We put a block in here, and we put a half slab. This entire roof is covered in half slabs, and thus no mobs can spawn up here. And I've built a ladder that takes us all the way back down from the outside. This means that we can get to the roof for future access. I recommend all of you seriously consider building this mob trap. You don't need to build it as complicated as me. Oh, one other design feature that I added that I recommend, I made all of these floors, this level, 2 blocks thick. The reason is, if you make it 1 block thick, occasionally you get, what do we call them? Phantom mobs, you know, monsters that spawned up there, and the game thinks fell through the floor. They fell through, and then they disappear a half a second later. They're not real, but at the same time, it's, to me, extremely frustrating, and I don't think any of you want to get used to mobs showing up in your neighborhood and you just ignoring them. And if you don't put that flooring that way, you will. So, now, this should be completely active, and as you see, we already had a spider fall and die in there. So, and there is an Enderman. So let me grab a sword. In fact, since we're going to be making a bunch of them, let's just use an Invar sword. And go ahead and kill him. So, what we need is to get a Ender Pearl. And I'm just going to skip through to having one and show you what it's for. So, vacuum hopper. The recipe for the vacuum hopper is 1 obsidian, 1 hopper, and 1 ender pearl. We want this item, and what you're going to want to do is place it, say, somewhere like right here. Now, it will suck up all of the drops that land on that side. And you're going to want to place a second one here once you have the opportunity. Now, we want them attached to item ducts, which again we made a couple of episodes back. They're easy to make. Attach an item duct here. Right-click on the vacuum hopper, click here, and it shows you the vacuum hopper the same way you're looking at it right now. So, bing, it's now connected to that item duct. This is now connected to the item duct. Let's get ourselves some chests. I've been using gold chests because now gold is readily available to us. And we need our crescent hammer. And we will whack this like so. And like so. And then, because these require a redstone signal, we will once again grab levers. Place one here, turn it on. Place one here and turn it on. Now, we are still manually killing the mobs in there. And that's a little bit frustrating, especially because, you know, we don't necessarily want to have to do that. So what's our next step? Well, now that we have an automatic drop collection process, we want to make ourselves these. The Invar spikes. Now, this requires a lot of Invar each. That's a block, 3 ingots, and 6 more ingots. So this is 2 blocks of Invar for 4 spikes. But, like I said, the Invar spikes will create a good deal of damage, and they will drop rare drops. They will not drop experience, so this will not be an experience grinder, but I don't think anyone's going to complain about that, because we're going to be getting a wonderful collection of rare drops out of this. So yes, you're going to have to punch holes in the wall and place these spikes down. And the truth is, it doesn't really matter which direction they're pointing, as if a mob touches the block, they will take damage. I believe. See, as soon as those Endermen started moving, they started taking damage. It's a little bit hairy to do this while it's live, but such is the cost of having a amazingly functional mob grinder. And now we can close it up. And it will continue producing items for us, including ender pearls, which we find very valuable, including string, so we don't have to worry about that anymore, gunpowder, arrows. Torches aren't normal. That's just because that's what some of them that I dropped. There you go. Only one other suggestion that I make. The sound muffler is wool surrounding a note block, which is planks surrounding redstone. I strongly recommend that you take a couple and place them around here. This will cause a muffling of all the sound that occurs inside here, so you don't have to listen to the mobs dropping all the time. There we go. Now we got ourselves a significant collection more resources, and we can move on to slightly more complicated projects. There is one other thing I recommend you do at this point, now that you have metals and such easily available. I recommend you make an igneous extruder. This is made tin, glass, a piston, a machine frame, which is iron and gold, or aluminum and gold, and some glass, and a servo, which we've already built. So you make one of these, and you get yourself a bucket of water and a bucket of lava. Remember, we have a lot of lava generation going on now. And you're going to replace this barrel. Let's see. What's the easiest way to destroy this? I probably have to remove everything from it. And then swing a pickaxe at. Oops, just deleted it. Let's just grab ourselves an axe. There we go. Now, we're going to take an igneous extruder. We're going to set it right here. We're going to hit it with a bucket of lava, and again with a bucket of water, and it will begin generating cobblestone off of nothing. It will just sit here and generate cobblestone forever. And so, because we do want some cobblestone available for our own use, we're going to put the barrel back down. We're going to put this line here, and then we're going to whack it with this crescent hammer, making it dense. That means this is the last choice for where cobblestone goes. It'll prefer to fill these up, but once it has, it'll dump all the extra cobblestone in here. So now we have free cobblestone generation. We don't have to use that cobble gen anymore, and now we have monster drops. So I will see you next time as we move forward toward pretty serious and more questing.